The strongest storm doesn't always break the ground. It breaks hearts open, leaving some standing tall while others waver. Imagine this, beloved soul. Someone steps into your space, and for a fleeting moment, they don't just see your face or your smile. They glimpse the fire inside you, the pure, unshakable strength that glows like a beacon. It's like staring into a blazing star without a shield, or opening a door to a rush of heat that takes their breath away. That's what your presence does. It pierces through masks and lights up truth. As Psalm 139:14 declares, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your light reflects God's design, and it's powerful enough to shift the air in any room. Here's the truth. When people feel your energy, their hearts race, their breath quickens, just like when they're scared or in awe. The difference? Fear makes them run or rethink everything. Awe lifts them up. So thank you, beloved soul, for shining so brightly. Please hit that like and subscribe button to share this light with others. Together, we're spreading a message of hope and strength. You're not just watching, you're part of a movement. Let's dive into why your presence shakes people to their core. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very last word. Your light exposes their shadows. The Bible says in John 8:32, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Truth doesn't destroy, it reveals. When someone steps into your presence, they expect to see just another person. But your light, your God-given strength, shines so brightly, it shows what they've hidden. They've built walls of fake smiles and polished words to cover their doubts and fears. But standing near you, it's like a spotlight on their cracks. You didn't try to expose them. You didn't point fingers or ask questions. You just stood there being you. And that was enough to make their carefully built image wobble. They wanted to seem strong, but your presence showed them what true strength looks like. It's not loud or showy, it's quiet, steady, and real. They can't fight that. They can't argue with someone who's just being themselves. So they squirm, maybe even get mad because your light shows them what they're not. It's like they saw their own reflection and didn't like it. That's not your fault, beloved soul. Your truth is just too bright for their shadows to hide. Your strength runs on God's power. Some people rely on tricks to control others. They use flattery, guilt, or promises to pull strings. But you're connected to a power they can't touch, God's strength. Philippians 4:13 reminds us, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's your secret, beloved soul. You don't need their approval or rewards. You've got a peace that comes from above, and it makes you untouchable. Imagine someone trying to hook you with their usual tricks, maybe a compliment to win you over or a jab to make you doubt. But you don't bite. You don't need their bait because your heart is anchored in something deeper. That frustrates them. They're used to winning by controlling others, but with you, their game doesn't work. You're free, and that freedom makes them feel powerless. They can't pull you into their drama because you're standing on God's truth, not their shaky ground. Your peace stirs their hidden struggles. Your calm is like a mirror, showing people what they've buried. Ephesians 5:13 says, everything exposed by the light becomes visible. When someone meets you, they don't just see your smile, they feel your peace. And that peace makes their inner chaos loud. They've hidden their doubts, their anger, their fears behind fake laughs and busy lives. But your steady presence pulls those shadows into the open. You didn't call them out. You didn't judge them. You just stood there. grounded in God's love, and that was enough to make them feel exposed. They might get quiet, act cold, or even push you away. That's not because of you. It's because your peace shows them what they're missing. They've been running from their own hearts, but your light makes it hard to keep running. Don't dim that light to make them comfortable, beloved soul. Keep shining, because your peace is a gift from God. Your trials made you unbreakable. Some people think pain breaks you. They expect to see you worn out, weighed down by life's storms. But you've walked through fire and come out stronger. Isaiah 43, 2 promises. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. God carried you through every trial, and now you shine with a strength that surprises people. They thought you'd be fragile, but instead you're solid. Every loss, every betrayal, every hardship shaped you into someone who can't be shaken. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. That's what shocks them. They know they'd crumble under the weight you've carried, but you stand tall, holding God's light. Your scars aren't signs of weakness. They're proof you've been made new, and that truth makes them question their own excuses for staying stuck. Their words can't touch your heart. People who want control use words like weapons, gossip, lies, or subtle jabs to make you doubt yourself. They thought they could break you with their sharp tongues, but you're armored with God's truths. Psalm 18:30 says, "The word of the Lord is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him." Their words bounce off you because your heart is rooted in something stronger. They expected you to panic, to chase their approval, to fight to clear your name. But you didn't. You stayed steady, knowing your worth comes from God, not their opinions. That drives them crazy. They're used to seeing people crumble under their attacks, but you're different. You've built your own table, and you don't need a seat at theirs. Every time they try to hurt you and fail, they lose a little more of their power. Your strength shows them they're not as strong as they thought. You carry the strength of generations. Some people stand alone, but you walk with the strength of those who came before you. Hebrews 12:1 speaks of a great cloud of witnesses cheering us on. That's what moves with you, beloved soul. Your presence carries the weight of your ancestors' faith, their sacrifices, their victories. When people try to push you, they're not just pushing against you. They're pushing against the legacy that stood firm for centuries. They thought they could shake you, but they didn't know you're anchored by roots too deep to move. Every trial your family faced, every prayer they prayed, every step they took, built the ground you stand on. That's why you don't waver. That's why doors open for you like they've been waiting. They feel it when they're near you. A strength that's bigger than one person. It's not just your power. It's the power of God working through generations, and they can't fight that. Fear can't hold you back. Most people are tied down by fear. Fear of losing friends, status, or opportunities. But you're free. As 2 Timothy 1:7 says, God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. You walk without looking over your shoulder, speak without trembling, and move like you know your place in God's plan. That confuses people who rely on fear to control others. They try to scare you with threats or tempt you with promises, but it doesn't work. You don't need their approval because you trust in God's provision. That makes you unstoppable. They're used to people bending to avoid loss, but you've learned that anything you lose wasn't yours to keep. Your freedom scares them because it shows they have no power over you. And for someone who thrives on control, that's truth they can't handle. Your calm silences their chaos. In a noisy world, your quiet strength speaks loudest. Proverbs 17:27 says, "Whoever restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding." They threw drama at you, hoping you'd jump in. They tossed accusations, expecting you to fight back. But you stayed calm, rooted in God's peace, and that stopped them in their tracks. They wanted a reaction, a sign you were shaken, but your stillness was a shield. By not engaging, you took away their power. Their chaos looked weak next to your calm. They shouted, but you didn't raise your voice. They pushed, but you didn't budge. Your peace showed them their storm was just noise, and that truth hit them harder than any argument could. You thrive where they can't survive. Some people need the right conditions to shine, crowds to cheer them, titles to lift them up. But you carry your own light. As Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world." You don't need applause or approval to stand tall. Whether you're surrounded by friends or alone in the wilderness, your strength stays the same. They can't understand that. They rely on others to feel strong, but you rely on God. Your heart is a place of truth and peace, and they can't survive there without letting go of their masks. They see you thriving in storms that would break them, and it shakes them. Your strength isn't tied to the world, it's tied to God, and that makes you untouchable. Your presence shrinks their power. Some people think they're the biggest force in the room. They're used to everyone listening, following, praising. But then you walk in and their throne feels smaller. Psalm 62:11 says, "Power belongs to God." Your strength doesn't come from titles or attention, it comes from God. And it's real. You don't chase their approval or play their games, and that makes their power look weak. You didn't try to outshine them. You just stood in your truth, and that was enough to shift the room. They're used to being the center, but your quiet strength draws eyes without effort. They realize their influence depends on others, but yours stands alone. That truth stings because it shows their power is fragile next to yours. Your peace highlights their restlessness. Your calm is a gift from God, and it shows others what they're missing. James 3:18 says, "A harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." When people are near you, they feel your peace, and it makes their inner turmoil loud. They've been hiding their struggles behind noise and distractions, but your stillness forces them to face it. They might call you distant or proud, but that's just their way of avoiding the truth. Your peace isn't judgment, it's a mirror. It shows them the chaos they've ignored. They're uncomfortable because your calm reminds them of the work they haven't done in their own hearts. Don't shrink for them, beloved soul. Your peace is God's gift, and it's meant to shine. *** 12. Your journey is just beginning. The scariest thing for them isn't who you are now, it's who you're becoming. They thought they saw your full strength, but they only saw the start. As Jeremiah 29:11 says, "I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." You're still growing, still rising, still stepping into God's purpose for you. They can feel it. Your words carry more weight. Your steps are surer. Your light is brighter. Every challenge makes you stronger. Every loss makes you wiser. They know that if you're this powerful now, your future will be unstoppable. That scares them, because your rise means their control is slipping. You're not just a person. You're a force, and your story is far from over. Beloved soul, keep walking in your truth. Don't dim your light for anyone. If this message touched your heart, hit that like button and to spread it further. Subscribe to join our family, because your journey isn't over.